Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm DeJhauna. This is Reach Your Bliss, where we talk all things authenticity and happiness. As you can tell by the title, today we're talking about what the real key to being authentic is. And I'm going to jump right into it. The real key to being authentic, to living in your authentic nature, showing up authentically in life day after day after day is by doing. I know I talk a lot on this channel of being and, just being in that state and becoming and things like that. And yes, that is a large part of being authentic and showing up authentically, that you do just need to, become and be the person that you want to be, live in who that person is, whoever that is for you. But doing is another key. Doing is key as well. What I have learned from my own journey of becoming very authentic to myself, showing up day after day very authentically in my life, is straight up doing. Get up and do it. Who do I want to be? What does she do? Do that. So do everything and anything, literally. It's one of the things I have had to train myself to really do. I used to be a person who needed to research everything, who needed to know all the facts, who had to have all the details before I was like, okay, this is something I'm gonna do. And even then, I held myself back a lot of times from living in my authentic nature, because even after I did the research, I had looked up all the facts, I had found out all the information, there was still this part of me of like, oh, I don't know. Should I? Shouldn't I? What's next? What comes next? What comes next is the actual doing part. So the more you do, the more you're going to know what is and what isn't for you. And of course, like the only way to truly live in your authentic nature, to truly show up authentically every single day in your life, is by knowing what is for you and what is not for you. You will never know what is for you or what is not for you if you don't do. You can't sit around your house and be like, I think I like bungee jumping. Let's just say that for an example. I think I like bungee jumping. I think I'm an adventurous person. Okay, great. That's great that you feel that way. What have you done to prove to yourself, in a sense, that you are an adventurous person? If you don't do anything that is on the side of like very adventurous, and maybe like, let's say adventurous for you has only been maybe going to explore a new trail. How do you know that you are this adventurous person that you say you are if you don't take a step to do something that is like on the high end of adventure? So if you say like, yeah, I think I'd like bungee jumping, you get out there, you do the bungee jumping, you're like, oh no, this is not for me. Now you can really tailor the type of person you are. You can really say, okay, I am adventurous, but only this type, only in this way, only for these moments. And that's totally fine. I used to be one of those people who felt like if I was defining myself as a type of person, like let's say adventurous, as a type of adventurous person, I had to do all the adventurous things. I had to be adventurous, for small things. I had to be adventurous for big things. I had to be the full scale of range of adventurous. Let me tell you something. That's not true. Whatever you decide to be, whoever you want to be, whatever your authentic nature is for you, you get to choose what side of the scale you want to be on. Maybe you're the adventurous person who only likes to adventure and try new foods. Maybe you're the adventurous person who does like to jump out of planes, like to go bungee jumping, and do all those things that are like very high extreme adventures. But again, the only way to know this is by doing. If you never have the experience, you're not gonna know it's for you. This is the thing. Experiences tell you if this feels good, if this doesn't feel good, if I want more of this, or if I want less of this. Those experiences that you have where you get that feeling of, wow, this feels really good. Wow, I want more of this. Those are the things that are aligning you with your authentic nature. In order for you to show up every single day and live an authentic life and be in your authentic nature, you need to be aligning yourself with things that point you in that direction. Things that are, so say you have an experience, you do this bungee jump and you're like, you know what? That did not feel good. I do not want any more of this. Less of adventures like this. That's an experience that's telling you that those are things that don't align with you. Those are things that maybe aren't authentic for you for whatever reason or the other. Maybe it's just a general dislike. Maybe it's not, fulfilling that authentic nature for you because maybe you still have some judgments behind it. Maybe you still have some expectations behind how it was supposed to go or how it should go or whatever that may be, but it's not in alignment for you. Things that are not in alignment for you are not going to feel authentic. The more you can move through life and do things that are aligning you with your authentic nature, the more you're going to be able to show up every single day in life and know instantly like what things are and are not for you, because you are familiar with that feeling of, oh, this feels good. Oh, this doesn't feel good. Oh, more of this. Oh, nope, less of this. The more you can become familiar with those feelings, the easier it becomes for you to day move throughout your life and say, oh, this is authentic for me. More of this, more of that way, going over here. Oh, this doesn't feel good for me. That's not authentic to me. That's not me living from an authentic space. Let me go over here. Let me reconsider, realign. Living from your authentic nature requires you to do things that help keep you in alignment. I think I already said that. So yeah, living in your authentic nature requires you to do things that help keep you in alignment. The other part of this doing is when I talk about doing and like going to do these things, one, do and try everything. I think I said that already, but definitely do and try everything. But when you do these things, when you try these new experiences, definitely I urge you to do from the mindset of F the expectations, F the perfection of how it should be or how I think it should be, F the outcomes, F what I have to say about this. One thing I have learned about myself and that I see in a lot of my clients is that a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we talk ourselves out of experiences, or we have so much to say inside our heads about how it should be, how it's going to be, how we want it to be. Shut that voice off. Learn to shut that voice off. The sooner you can learn to shut that voice off inside your head that's like, oh my God, bungee jumping is going to be so scary, but you're adventurous, but it's going to be so scary and who knows what can happen. And my mom said this and I've heard other people say this, blah, 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 blah. Whatever that stream of thought is inside your head, shut it off. Literally, the thing that has really helped me to shut that voice off inside my head is imagining a little dial inside my head where it has a little voice off. Turn it off. When I start having thoughts of where I'm about to talk myself out of something, or I'm wanting to do something, but I have all this verbiage coming up in my head of like, oh my God, it's probably going to be like this. It's probably going to be like that. You have to do it this way. You should do it that way. Maybe we should try it this. Maybe we should try it like that. Turn it off. Just go do it. Just go do it. Turn it off. Go do it. The sooner you can embrace that of, oh, I'm hearing all these things, I feel like I'm telling myself all these things, off, go do it. There are so many times in my life where I have talked myself out of something. A good example is this past weekend I made a new friend, and I used to be the type of person who would say like, oh my gosh, I'm so shy. It's hard for me to network. It's hard for me to meet new people. Before I went to this event, I set the intention that I wanted to meet a new friend and cool. And, I was talking to this girl at this event, whatever. And as I was kind of talking to her and getting to know her, and we're having our moments of silence as the event is going on, I have these thoughts coming up in my head of, oh my gosh, like what's she gonna say? Like if I ask for her number, or if like I ask her to hang out later, I shut it off. I imagine that dial in my head and I shut it off. and I asked her out to coffee, and now we're friends. I made a new friend because why? I'm not shy. It's not hard for me to network. And the other thing about doing is get in that mindset that you can do anything you want. And it sounds so cliche, but honestly, you can literally do anything you want. If you wanted to go rob a bank, I am not advising that. But if you wanted to, you could go rob a bank. If you wanted to. If you wanted to go skydiving, you can do that. Stop telling yourself the narrative that, oh, it's going to be like this. It's going to be hard. I have to be this type of person. I've heard this. I've heard that. That's not how I've lived my life. That's not what I've been. How do you know? I mean, not how do you know, but how do you know it's not for you? That's not who you are. If you do not try it, if you do not have that experience, you can do anything you want. Start telling yourself that every single day. That has been the defining factor for me showing up very authentically in my life, because I don't know what I can or cannot do unless I do it. What a concept. What a concept. I do not know what I can or cannot do, what is or is not for me, if I do not have the experience, if I do not do it. So stop telling yourself what you can't do, what you can't be, what you can't have. You can do, you can have, you can be whatever you want. You get to decide that though. So as you move forward with showing up more authentically in your life, becoming and living from a space of authenticity, start telling yourself, I can do whatever I want. I can be whoever I want. I can have whatever I want. And as you continue to tell yourself, that will become a very true belief for you in the way that you show up in your life and the way that you live your life as a person who can do anything they want. A lot of times, it's actually really funny because a lot of times I will have people tell me, and this has been a more recent thing, like within the past year, where I've had people tell me, like, you do whatever you want. Like, people have told me that I do whatever I want. And it's true. I do whatever the fuck I want. Why? Because I know I can. Why not do whatever the fuck you want? Because how am I supposed to know if whatever I'm doing isn't for me if I don't go and do it? Do you feel me? Do you understand? So begin telling yourself you can do whatever you want and go and do those things. If you want to learn how to cook, go learn how to cook. If you want to build yourself a house, go learn how to build a house. Go do whatever you need to do. And the other part of doing is to, and especially with turn that voice off in your head that, you know, when you have an idea of something that you want to do, turn that voice off that says, oh, well, how are we going to do it? How is that going to happen? That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Decide what you want to do and then decide the next step. When you have a definitive decision on what you want to do, the next step is going to be clear. You never have the next steps because you're not definitive on what you want to do. If I wake up tomorrow and I say, I don't know, let me think of something I haven't done. If I wake up tomorrow and I say, I want to learn how to be a pottery maker, I want to start making pottery and make all my own dishes and vases and things like that. Cool. Definitive decision. That's what I want to do. Guess what's probably going to happen for me that day? I'm going to find a pottery studio. I'm going to talk to someone who knows how to do pottery. The way these phones work, something is going to come up on one of my ads on one of my social medias. So stop telling yourself that you have to have the how. Again, turn that voice off in your head. You hear it chattering. You hear it saying, oh my God, how are we going to do it? What do we need to do? How do we do it? Click, turn it off. Irrelevant. Go and do it. So yeah, that's going to be key to living in your authentic nature, to showing up authentically in your life every single day. And the faster you can begin to do things, the faster you will begin to show up and live authentically in your life every single day. And I'm telling you, it's going to feel so good. If you've been struggling with showing up authentically in your life, if you're one of those people who struggles to like just go out and do things and really push yourself to do things, I would love to help you along that journey. I've had my own struggles with getting up and actually doing things. And I wish I had had someone there with me to say, hey, like, you can do this. You don't have to have this whole running conversation. You don't have to have all the information, do all the research. I wish I had had someone to guide me along that journey of me becoming authentic, me showing up authentically in myself. I've been along this whole journey on my own. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It has been hard. It has been difficult, but I've persisted and now I'm here. But anyways, I would love to guide you along your journey of becoming more authentic to yourself, of returning home to yourself. I'm available now for one-on-one coaching. I have my link in the description box. You can also just email me as well for package details. So definitely follow that link. Email me for package details on one-on-one coaching so you can truly start living the life you desire, start showing up authentically in your life, start living a life of fulfillment, whatever that looks like for you. Whatever that looks like for you, I'm here to help guide you there. As always, thank you for being here with me today. I appreciate you. I love you. You got this, and I'll see you in the next one.